Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bunny Babble, the thing that's supposed to happen once a week, but I changed it to bi-weekly, and now it wasn't even bi-weekly. It's been about 3 weeks. I skipped out on 1 week. I'm sorry. Well, technically 2 weeks. But in my defense, welcome to the Bunny Babble. Be happy you're getting one now. Be grateful and don't complain. I'm just joking. It's wonderful to see you again. I always love recording these bunny babbles, and I do want to get into a habit of doing it more often, especially because I feel like, at least of recent, a lot of things have been kind of coming out. So for those of you that don't know, quick summary of Bunny Babble. Essentially, I go over current events, things that are regarding me, things that are regarding the VTuber world, or things that are regarding just things in general. And I kind of go over them, give my own opinions, and ask for your opinions on the topic. And I like to think my opinions are based, but I try my best to be as unbiased as possible, and it's just your little source of bunny news. Normally, I try to do it every week, or at least bi-weekly. It's been 3 weeks, so the information that I'm giving you is about essentially what's been happening since the month of April. I think we're in April right now. Whatever this month is currently, I'm basically giving you the rundown of everything that's happened this month in case you missed it, or maybe you live under a rock. Maybe the only way that you get information is through my lovely bunny babbles. And it has, especially in this last week alone, things have been kind of crazy. Yesterday, huge drop. Like 4 days ago, another huge drop. Earlier in the month, not really all that much was going on. I have a few topics, of course, that happened from early on in the month, but I feel like most of the news that has happened, especially some of the hotter stuff, is from this week, if not yesterday. I'll get into it a little bit later, but the world is literally, the VTuber scene is currently on fire right now. You cannot scroll Twitter in the VTuber community without seeing this one particular thing. Before it was Gura, now it's this new thing. So the internet's kind of burning right now. The VTuber community is absolutely in shambles. Unlucky. Thank God we're not VTubers, right? Okay, but also, a little thing about the Bunny Babbles. I have these little jingles. That's how I keep you in the loop. If I'm jingling, that means we're moving on to a new topic. That means I'm giving you your attention. I want your attention now. After hearing the jingle, you decide whether or not you want to listen in, and then you wait for the next jingle. That's essentially how those Bunny Babbles goes. And jingle, jingle. Jingle, jingle. We do have quite a bit to talk about, but maybe not too much. I would always, like to start with my own topics, my own little updates. Jingle, 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 jingle. It's time for me. We're learning about me now. It's my turn. I get the beginning. I get the first say. I get. Everyone normally clicks off the videos within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I got to make sure to get my shit in before you leave me. Jingle, jingle. So, I have a few updates. Most of it is progress updates, nothing that I can show you, but something that you'll eventually see. So, first big update. I can't remember if I told you this during the last Bunny Babble. I can't remember, but the song, my third song, is officially completed. The only thing I'm waiting on now is the cover art, a little bit of doodle so I can make a little visualizer for it, and then the people that are editing the video. So there's going to be a pseudo music video while I wait for a full-fledged music video to be produced and animated. I want to go all out with this. Hopefully you guys really enjoy this third song. It should hopefully be coming out within the next 2 months. Hopefully. And then a music video for that, like essentially another music video, a more dedicated, fully animated music video will come out after that even more. So hopefully within the next 2 months, you'll actually have access to the song. I also have a acapella version and an instrumental version for people that either want to cover the song or make a remix of the song. So something for everyone. I also have officially, basically, I think we're only missing one race maybe 2. I think it's only 1 race left before all the races on the Eurasian continent, my magical continent, has been fully made, fully designed. So soon enough, you'll be seeing a lore video and a lot more lore videos on this channel that are edited by me and will basically be my own little personal project and my own personal things. The first thing that I'm going to be doing is something to do with the races. I'm going to clickbait it. So if you see something wild, if you see me clickbaiting something wild, I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to ruin the surprise, but just know it's not me. I'm not racist. Every racist person ever has said that. But if I make something that seems racist, I'm talking about my own races that I created. I will be clickbaiting that, just so you know. Be aware of that. It will catch some people off guard, and that's what I'm hoping for. Whatever will get people to click on my lore is what I'll have to do. I don't care if I have to go to the dark side. I will get people to care about my lore. I have pretty pictures. I spent thousands of dollars on my lore. I've written hundreds of pages about my lore. You will listen, you will consume, you will enjoy, and you will live, breathe, and bleed my lore. Okay? Good. Good, Fluffo. Good. Yes. Perfect. And the last thing is on the modern continent. Yep, more lore. You guys love lore. I officially have all of the modern countries from my own countries that I made myself. Out of... Shiri didn't make these countries. I made these countries. The person behind Shiri, which is also Shiri. But Shiri, not Shiri the character, but Shiri the creator, has made a lot of lore. There is currently 2 continents that are being focused on, and there's background music for each of those either countries or regions. The magical continent has been done for a while now. We have background music that'll be used for games, that'll be used for tabletops, that'll be used for essentially any kind of lore things. Essentially every region, every country, every place, even if you're traveling in between wilds, there will be background music that I have commissioned. And now for the modern continent, which is supposed to be kind of like the regular world in my lore, basically the countries have their own background music now, except for one, which will be done shortly. So that's also another update. If you're in my Patreon, you've heard them already. I do my Patreon event nights every Thursday. Shill, 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 jingle, jingle, jingle. It's time to get into the actual topics. Enough about me. I'm sure you're tired of me. You're a little bunny. And now, I'm not little. I'm 5'11". Don't forget that. Jingle, 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 next topic. We're going to start moving into the events, the current events that aren't so current anymore until we get to the current ones. Because don't forget, I got to talk about the stuff that happened in the beginning of the month. Jingle, jingle. I already jingled, so I don't have to jingle again. But ignore that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so here, let me go over a little this way. There you go. Perfect. So, first thing we're talking about, Palworld. Do you guys remember Palworld? I remember there was a Pokemon lawsuit about Palworld. Palworld was really popular because it was basically a Pokemon builder with guns and a little edgy, but not too edgy. And you can actually put people in Pokeballs too. I think they were called Palballs. Odd name, especially if, Pokeballs too. Don't think about it too hard. Either way, this was something last year on April 1st. They made an April Fool's joke where they were doing a visual novel where you can essentially fuck the pals. Romance the pals. And they had a few of the human characters, but it was most likely furry gooner bait. And they saw how popular that was, and they decided to actually make furry gooner bait. If you look at some of these screenshots, it's some of the Pokemon, well, they're not exactly Pokemon, the Palmon, or whatever they're called, and you're able to do certain things to them and certain things with them. And it feels like they really will be releasing a dating sim. It is going to be called More Than Just Pals, and it'll be a visual novel type romance game where the furries can do whatever they'd like and to their whatever equivalent of a Vaporeon they want to do it to. Whether that be humanoid or not humanoid, have fun. I rest my case, my hands down on my lap, and do what you'd like with this information. If you are the type to enjoy that, look forward to it. If you're the type to disapprove of it, look away from it. Now, jingle, jingle. Jingle, jingle. Up next, this was something cute that I just wanted to show you guys for this next one. This next one, this is one of the models that I used to use, the Mame Hinata model. I thought it was really cool that the official Japanese McDonald's had a collaboration with the person who made this model. That's so cool to see that at least Japanese McDonald's, and maybe in the future English McDonald's, will be doing stuff with Vrchat creators or Vrchat model creators, maybe Vrchat type of asset type stuff. That is really cool and very inspiring. This can show that even if you're making models or cute anime stuff or things that you do for a passion, you might actually get reached out to some major corporations and make some major bucks. But I just think it's really cool that, I mean, this is a model that I use. This is the base of a model. Of course, I changed it to be Shirified. There's bunny ears. I'm sure you've seen it before. It was in some of the thumps that I've done, where I've had this model before, and some of my old thumbnails, my old commentary thumbnails, would have the Shiri version of this Mame Hinata. If you want to find this model yourself, of course, once again, it is a base. All you got to do is look up Mame, which is M-A-M-E, Hinata, H-I-N-A-T-A. It'll be on Booth. It's $5, I believe, and you can edit it, do whatever you'd like to it, and you can use it in Vrchat or anything of those sorts. There's always terms of service when it comes to these Booth models, and you make sure you read them. Some people have terminology such as you can't do anything not safe for work for it, like as in you can't do gore, you can't do any kind of sexual stuff, you can't do a bunch of stuff like that. They also have terms when it comes to reselling. Basically, there's a lot of terms when you buy these free models. Well, not necessarily free, but these template models, where if you alter them enough, some people will try to resell them. So make sure you look at the rules. Normally, for the average Joe, the average schmuck, the average VRChat enjoyer, it won't apply to you unless you're adding like little not safe for work bits on your models, which, I mean, if you're a Joe Schmo nobody, it's not like they're gonna copyright claim you or do anything like that. It's up to you. I mean, you could do what you want. I ain't gonna judge. Whatever model you choose to do it on, go for it, buddy. I remember I've actually gotten copyright claimed by this person. One of the Mame Hinata Shiris did end up getting claimed and taken down. I don't know why. The content creator, the person who made this, might just hate me. I don't know why. It's only one of the versions of them were taken down, and I still don't know why exactly. I've never had one of my models. Granted, almost all of my models are custom made, so it wouldn't make sense if I fully bought the models. This is the only kind of template model I've ever used. I was strucken down. I don't know why. I don't think I broke any rules, and unless maybe the model creator just isn't a fan of me, because I was using it in thumbnails, but I believe that was in the rules. But other than that, I've heard this specific model creator is a little strict on their rules, which is fine. I mean, you made something and you made something mainstream, so do what you will, do what you want. But at the end of the day, if you want the model, check it out. I still think the model is probably one of my favorite VRChat models of all times, and I don't even go on VRChat that often. But thank you, and jingle jingle. Jingle jingle, time for the next one. This next one is old news at this point, but I would love to give you a little bit of a rundown on this one. So, there is a... Okay, let me explain a little bit about something. So there are indie Vtubers and there are corpo Vtubers. Indie Vtubers basically are completely independent. They can form groups of themselves. For example, Shirybun, Shia, my good friend, my lovely bunny, he is not a part of a corpo despite being in a group called Ichiban. There's differences between groups and there's differences between corpos. VTuber groups such as VTwinks or Ichiban are just groups of people that they create content together, they enjoy each other, they make projects together, and that's basically it. Corpo typically scout for talents, acquire talents, whether that be giving them an entirely new model or actually just snagging them. I feel like most of the times they're given a new model. Essentially, almost all of the assets are paid for. A lot of the streaming stuff is paid for. Basically, they're just grabbing the talents, and the corpo actually owns the intellectual property of 90% of what they give the creators, which is where some of the gray lining of corpos go. For corpo agencies, most of the time, because they're giving you their the model, they have to make a profit somehow. So they get the talents, and then for the talents, there is a split between the profit that they earn and the profit that they give to the corpo. For some corpos, the split is really nasty. For some of the big hitters is like Niji Sanji and Hololive. Those are probably the two biggest corpos, and for those, you don't make 100% of the earnings made from your merch, and they also take a cut of revenue from any type of revenue that you can make, such as YouTube streams. They will take a cut out of that, and Twitch streams, they'll take a cut out of that. Essentially, that's how corpos make their money, is they take a percentage of their talents, and with that percentage, they're able to create more assets, they're able to give more models, make new advertising, buy more things. That's the thought process behind corpos. They basically they fund their talents, and their talents fund the corpo. It's supposed to be somewhat of a symbiotic relationship, but a lot of corpos end up being corrupt, either in the way of their management is just incapable, or they're just way in over their heads, or they're corrupt as in they have unfair ratios to the revenue that the talents generate and give away to the actual corpo. So a lot of people don't like corpos, and a lot of the things about being in a corpo is you have a lot more regulations on yourself. If a corpo doesn't like what you're doing, they would tell you to take it down. Corpos can also cover up things, which may be a benefit to the talents. Yada 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 yada, who cares? That's basically the difference between a corpo and an indie. Indie, independent, you can do whatever you want, but no one's really funding you. You're funded by yourself. That's the downside of being an indie. Versus a corpo, normally they give you, first of all the assets that you could ever work with or want to work with, and they give you that initial boost of, because you're in a corpo, especially if you're in a corpo that's known. For example, if you join VShojo or Hololive or Niji Sanji, you're guaranteed to start off with between 10k to 100,000 followers, which a lot of people, especially just your average person, is going to be like, that's all I need. If only I started off big, that's everything that I need. I can skyrocket off of there. I just need to be seen first. That's not always the case. Sometimes you're in over your head, and as soon as you have the spotlight shown on you, you can crumple. That's why they have interviewing process and things like that, to make sure that you can either handle the pressure, or is it actually going to work? There has been a lot of talents that just aren't as good as they think they are. And that's kind of the thing. That's why some people wish that they can go into corpos, because they believe that if they just get that 10,000 follower boost, that 100,000 follower boost, and people, the recognition of name brand, that's all that they need. For some people, that really is all that they need. Some people have the talent and they just need the luck. The corpos essentially give you the luck portion. They give the eyes on top of you. So that's why some people will choose to go corpo, because they see it as a way of basically stabilizing and making sure that they can do content for a full time as a living. That's my assumption as why a lot of people go corpos. I'm sure every individual person has their own individual reasons as to why they would go corpo, but we're talking about the whore corpo. It's not actually a whore corpo. This corpo, Vallure, is what we're talking about here. And it was made by one of my personal friends. I really like Dude. Dude was one of the co-founders, if not the well, they founded it. They made it. They basically made it. I just know it. They made Vallure. And they were originally an ASMR creator. We've done collabs in the past. I've talked with Dude. I was talking with Dude when they were making the thing, and I was very excited for it. And I think it's awesome, because they saw a lot of the corrupt corpos, and seeing how horrible the values and ratios that talents get to corpos in general. Like some of the ratios were like 50-50 split, which isn't fair to the talents. Some ratios are even 80-20 split in favor of the corpo, which is horrendous for the talents. And so basically she wanted to make a fair and good Corpo with an underlying thing of one of the main themes of it is that these are all not safe for work creators. It's a not safe for work corpo, which are extremely rare. If not, this is the first one. And Vallure ended up doing really well, and it took off. And some of the top creators like Emmy, this is Emmy, this picture here, and I believe Cotton is the other one, not Cottontail, but Cotton, I believe, is their name. They made it pretty big, and you might have seen them around on shorts or TikToks or Instagram reels or anything like that. And essentially, they all do have a background in not safe for work audios and not safe for work stuff, because I mean the creator came from ASMR. Not saying that all ASMR is not safe for work, but you can definitely get a foothold in that. And they made this corpo, and one of something that happened earlier in the month, you can see this is April 3rd, there was a journalist that made an article about Vallure and essentially saying, oh, they're bad, ooh, bad. I think they literally called it a whore corpo, and Vallure didn't even have to respond to it. The journalist ended up crumpling underneath the pressure, and also the fans, and also basically people refuting all of their points. And without Vallure even needing to say anything, they won. They essentially won without even having to speak or open a hand or lay a hand. And that's what this tweet is talking about. They basically, they destroyed their first journalist hit piece without doing a single thing, just because of how good their reputation is, which is very rare and refreshing for corpos, because left and right, if you've seen the VTuber scene, you've seen corpos crumble down or merge into other things, or having like a doc going about how bad management was every other day. So it's nice to see that there's a good one, and it's good to see that my friend who set out to make a good agency actually made one of the good ones. It's very, very refreshing to see. Now, jingle jingle. Up next, congratulations on your me teaching you about corpos versus indies. Jingle jingle, up next. This one, a lot of people were pissed about the Switch. The Switch 2 was announced for being released. A lot of people are very unhappy with the Switch 2 because they have such features as like $100 Joy-Cons. You have to pay for the internet. The actual Switch is like $450, $550. Basically, really expensive. You have to buy all of the parts, or the parts that you want. You have to pay for internet. And this thing here was talking about this button literally won't even work if you don't pay for the monthly subscription. So there's a button on the controller that unless you pay monthly, you can't even use it. A lot of people are very upset about this. A lot of people are very upset about the Switch 2. A lot of people are crying about it. But I think at the end of the day, people that are going to buy the Switch are going to buy the Switch, and they don't really give a shit. So I feel like some of the people complaining are still going to buy the product. So, I mean, if you want the Switch, get the Switch. I don't want the Switch, so I'm not buying the Switch. I don't care. That's my personal opinion on this. You have every right to be upset. You can cry a storm up on Twitter if you'd like to. Get those clicks, king. Get those clicks, queen. Enjoy yourself. What I'm gonna do is, if I don't like a product, I just won't buy the product. But you do have to cause up a storm if you want change. I just don't see the change happening. I don't think the Switch cares. They know people are going to eat up the slop that they make and that they buy. So unless you find a way to make it so the people that are brainwashed by Nintendo are going to stop buying Nintendo products, you are crying to nothing. That is my opinion. Unless you could get the actual like Nintendo whales to stop buying their gacha of a Nintendo, Nintendo's gonna keep doing what they're doing. So that's my hot take. I don't know if that's really a hot take, but there's my take. Up next, jingle jingle, jingle jingle, jingle jingle. This one was really cool. I feel like I'm definitely old news at this point. I'm a little late to this now at this point, but this was so cool. This was so awesome. I don't know if this is terrifying or not terrifying. I have no idea how I'm supposed to feel about this, but apparently there's this company or research team called Colossal Biosciences that are essentially uninstinctifying extinct animals. So, you know how the dodo bird is extinct, or how dinosaurs are extinct, or how dire wolves are extinct. Apparently, they made a dire wolf, which is an animal that's been extinct for apparently 10,000 years. And they found their way of essentially bringing them out of extinction. I am not 100% sure on how they are doing this. I haven't researched too deeply into this, but it seems like it's legit. They are kind of going ham on the marketing and like suggesting that you go to their YouTube channels and all this stuff, which makes me feel like stuff like that makes me worry that this isn't genuine and that it's just a marketing ploy and it's like a scam and they're just trying to get people to go over to their YouTube page. But it might be real. So, and it seems like this is something that they're actually doing, and it seems like something that could actually be done with science. So it's something to definitely keep your eye on, especially if you're someone that's a biologist nut or environmentalist nut. You might be interested in seeing some extinct animals turn out to be not extinct. I believe on their YouTube channel, they're showing these pups grow up, and it's going to be very interesting if they grow up to the size of what dire wolves are normally, because I believe dire wolves used to be humongous, like really big, like the size of bears, if not bigger. Like they are big dogs. So if these little guys end up growing up to be those huge animals, humankind might be donezo. Unlucky. We're gonna bring the dinosaurs back and then die to them, and then we're gonna have to learn to create another meteor. We're gonna have to do the event all over again. Let's go for the Big Bang. Okay, so up next we're gonna jingle jingle again. Jingle jingle, jingle jingle, jingle jingle. Up next we have this game. I actually played this game on stream. I love this game. This game was so fun. It's currently only a demo right now, but eventually it will not just be a demo. It is essentially a roguelike gambling game. You know how much we love gambling. Gambling is very bad. So instead of wasting your actual money, why not waste fake money? So instead of gambling in real life, why don't you do this roguelike gamble game where it's essentially just a slot machine? It has that same vibe of that game that it was like a card game. There was like the Aurora Borealis. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like an ARG type game. This seems like an ARG type of horror game where it's got spooky little psychological, it's a little bit of a horror mixed with a roguelike, and I played it. I think it was really fun. I think it's really cool. And another like kind of like Iron Lung feel as well. The art style very reminiscent of Iron Lung. It's essentially a horror game roguelike that has a lot of potential, I think. It scratches that little gambling itch that you might have. But I'd much rather you gamble through a game that doesn't waste your money and ruin your life than actually gambling on something that will crush your soul and your life. So instead of going on slots and streaming slots and losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, why not stream Clover Pit, a roguelike slot machine nightmare where you try to escape debt. It's very fun, very cool, very, very cool. Now, up next, we have something that I want to show you that's really cool. We're gonna jingle jingle. Oh, where's my jingle jingles? Jingle jingle, jingle jingle. This is really, really cool. You can't hear it. You can read the subtitles if you want to though, but you can't hear it. It is 3D tracking. This 3D tracking is insane. They essentially kind of rendered in a real life model and put some weird tracking stuff on it. And they basically, I guess they modeled it in game, and well, I say in game, in whatever software they're in. I don't know if it's Weirdo or if it's A0. I don't know what it is. It probably says it at the end of the video. But so this person has had insane tracking. His hand tracking is absolutely insane. And the fact that this is just insane tracking. Like, it feels so natural. And it's something that's really hard to do, especially in stuff like Vrchat. It's really hard to see stuff that has such good physics, especially real world physics. And this just shows the potential of what VR and what 3D and Vicon. It's Vicon tracking. There you go. It said it for a second there. It just shows how far it can go, how 3D and VR tracking can go. And I'm very excited to see. Yeah, it is Bawardo. I knew it'd be Bawardo. Yeah. It's just insane to see. It's crazy. And I'm excited to be a part of it growing up. And I'm sure in 10 years the 3D tracking is going to be like absolutely insane, and it's going to go on even past this point. So jingle jingle, just something cool that I wanted to show you. Always take a look at cool new 3D tracking stuff. Jingle jingle, jingle jingle. I think this one's the Katy Perry one. Yeah, Katy Perry. This one's gonna be a short one for me. Katy Perry apparently went up into space. Jingle jingle, jingle jingle, next topic, jingle jingle. Now this one is the important one. This one's definitely one of my major topics. This is something that I was jingle jingle, I was heartbroken over this. So the LeBron James of VTubing has officially graduated. They graduated. It was really sad to see. And this happened April 15th. So it's been about 11 days, 10 days. It's been a bit at this point, but I was there for it. I was in the live stream the second that it went live. Gura was basically kind of crying and saying that she's graduating at the end of the month, meaning you still have 2 weeks with her. She's currently, as of me recording this right now, live right now, playing Oblivion. So at the end of the month, they are graduating. They're leaving. If you didn't know, Gura is Senzawa, and something that you could take note of this is Senzawa ended up getting a blue check mark on Twitter, meaning that they verified their account and they paid for Twitter Blue, which theorizes that Senzawa will be coming back after being Gura. I don't know if Senzawa is going to rebrand or get a new model, because I mean their look would be a little outdated, but they may want to just stay the same old of what they were. I don't know if they're going to go to Senzawa, but at the end of Gura's graduation, she said that she's looking forward to the future, which makes me think that she's not done content creating, she's just done being Gura. This was a sad day. I feel like Gura was very, very well liked among many people. I don't think everyone liked Gura, but I mean, at the end of the day, Gura was one of the major things that basically kind of took off of VTubing. She was, at least on the Western side of things, at least in the English scene, Gura was one of the biggest, if not the biggest VTuber. And it was really sad to see, and I was surprised how upset I felt when I heard her crying. She seemed very in her emotions, and one of the reasons she said she was graduating was disagreements with HoloLive management, which, considering 3 other of her genmates have left and graduated, it worries, especially with Niji-Sanji scares and stuff like this. I don't know how many of you know about VTuber Corpo type stuff, but the 2 bigger ups, HoloLive and Niji-Sanji, have been known for some special or kind of scummy type things. I believe one of the things that people seem to be really upset about is the fact that HoloLive has gone public. I don't know what that means. I don't know what going public means, but apparently Discord is doing that as well. I don't know what going public means. I guess I'll have to look it up after this, but it is really sad to see one of the LeBron James of VTubing finally throwing up the towel and just not. They're just done with VTubing now. They're done with Gura. Senzawa, if she does go to Senzawa, she might go to something else. She might just stop entirely. That might not mean that she quit VTubing or quit content creation. She might come back, but it's still kind of it made me sad to see. I was always a big fan of Gura. I really loved her design. I thought her voice was very cute as well. She seemed very funny. She seemed very down to earth for a lot of the things, and she had a lot of problems as well, which made her feel very human compared to some of the other perfect people we see being VTubers. So that was some of the few things that I liked about Gura, and it was sad. It was sad. It made me sad. And I'm going to jingle and go on to the next thing. This is probably another something to do with Gura. Let's make sure. Graduate. So Gura graduated. That's the jingle. That's all I'll say about the topic. So up next, so this one you guys probably won't know about, but I'm sure everyone that watches my videos uses Discord in some shape or form. Discord, especially if you're on the online sphere, online world, is very known. I seriously doubt you're watching YouTube without having a Discord. That would be crazy. I feel like the people that wouldn't have a Discord would be people that don't go on the internet and be people that have lives. No offense, everyone. Don't worry, I'm insulting myself too. But what people may not know is Activision Blizzard. Activism is what fucked over Blizzard. Blizzard used to be a great gaming company, and then Activision came along, decided to partnership with Blizzard, and then from there Blizzard went downhill, lost the sight of their original goal, of which was making it for the gamers, and started working more on monetization, putting in-game payments. Basically, they walked away from their original goal, and a lot of the people that originally worked for Blizzard ended up stepping down after seeing the changes that Activision ended up making with Blizzard. So seeing that the person who was the CEO of Discord, granted, I didn't know who they are, I don't know if they were good or bad, but seeing the person of Activision Blizzard step up to be a new CEO makes me feel like we're going to be seeing a lot more monetization of Discord, and they might be making changes or directions into Discord. I mean, we're already starting to see a lot more monetization with Discord. You can buy a whole bunch of different decorations, you can buy cat ears, you can buy banner profile pictures, you can buy now themes for the sidebar. It's getting insane with how much stuff you can buy. It's crazy. And I don't know how much more they can do, but they keep seeming to pull out more ideas out of their ass. And this might have been the cause of it. This might be why they started doing that. And I mean, if you have the money and you want to spend on it, at least it's cosmetics is all I'll say. At least they're not making anything, like, as long as they don't start making it so if you have to make a Discord account, you have to pay a subscription. As long as they don't do that, I don't think it'll be too bad. I think it'll be fine. But as long as they don't start locking things that we already had behind paywalls, it should be okay. And maybe this might be the step in a good direction. We can't always look negatively about things. This could be a good thing. I just don't know yet. Now, jingle onto the last topic and the most intense topic. Jingle. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Oh my god. It's because I could tell the storm was coming. It was approaching. Here, let me move this up a little bit. We're gonna move this up here. So, something in the VTuber community for the past yesterday and today has been going down by storm. You might not know, you might know. If you know a lot of mainstream VTubers, you'll probably know them. If you don't know mainstream VTubers, there is basically a mainstream VTuber called Sinder. Ended up getting absolutely demolished and attacked overnight by what was originally Nanoless and Bao. Nanoless is an artist. They are a VTuber model artist, and Bao is one of the very large female VTube streamers. She's one of the water aquatic VTuber animals. I believe Bao is a. Is she a whale? I think she's a whale. I'm pretty sure Bao's a whale. She has the tail. She has a cute tail. She's very blue. I'm pretty sure she's a whale. She might be a dolphin. I think she's a whale. She's an aquatic creature. I don't know the exact one. I think whale. I mean, Bao, whale. I think whale. I might be wrong, though. But she's one of the big ones. She's one of the hard hitters. And she's one of the OG ones. She's been VTubing forever. I've seen Bao since I was like a baby VTuber. Like I'm pretty sure Bao was there before me. So, and I'm an oldie at this point. I've been VTubing for about 3-4 years now. It's been a good bit. It's been a good while. So, essentially these two made a Google Doc on Sinder and Redacted for the longest time. Redacted was in all caps. I thought redacted was the actual word, the definition redacted, which means taken out, and it's basically censored. I thought they were protecting this one person, and it took me reading like 3 docs to realize redacted is legitimately just their name. Their name is redacted or red. I thought it was doing like the SCP type of like saving or protecting this one person the entire time. But that's just their name, and it was so confusing. So if you're reading this, and you've been reading and following along with this drama, Redacted is a person. They're not censoring their name. Redacted is a person. That's a dude. That's a whole ass dude. And so essentially what was happening, and the big thing that was going on was essentially Sinder and Redacted, who is Sinder's manager and at one point was their boyfriend, according to other people. They were telling Nanolist, and apparently Nanolist wasn't the only one they were doing to, basically to stop working with Bao, stop working with other people, and essentially doing slimy things of saying your art is going to be worth less value if you let other people commission you. You should just let us commission you. There is a doc. I would suggest you read all the docs if you actually care about coming to your own opinion. Don't just take my word for it. Don't just take my opinions. Don't just take my stuff. Make sure you do your own research, because there could be stuff that I'm overlooking. And at this point, the only statement that Sinder has made is that they will respond to this soon, but understand that Redacted is no longer working with me, and any action and thing that they do does not represent me as a person. So essentially a lot of people are taking this as they are throwing Redacted under the bus to save their own skin, and the most liked comment or reply in that thread is, "Wasn't Redacted your boyfriend? I remember playing Phasmophobia with you 4 years ago, and you said that Redacted was your boyfriend. And then when we met at TwitchCon, you seemed to call him your manager instead of boyfriend, and acting like I didn't know that person." That is the most liked reply, and has made people speculate that they're just throwing their boyfriend under the bus, and also the old throwback of any indie VTuber that has a manager doesn't actually have a manager, it is just their partner, which seems to be true time and time again. If you are an indie VTuber and you have a manager and you're not paying that manager and they're doing it for free, they either are your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or they want to be, is normally the 4 cases of if you have a manager. That is specifically not paid. If you pay for your manager and they're doing it that way, that's a different story. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're good, but it's a different story. So, since then, I believe 5 more documents has come out in regards to Sinder and Redacted. More people are coming up with their own stories. Apparently, Sinder and this other person, there was another person that made a doc saying that Sinder cheated on them and was manipulated. I am a little worried that because this came out, a lot of people are coming out with their own stories. I don't know how much good faith there is. I'm worried about, now that they see that Sinder is the person that's under fire and under the rug, that people are jumping on this train and making their own statements in basically a bad faith way of, this person is down. I always had bad opinions of them, and now I can finally do and say something about it. So let me tell everyone about all the bad experiences that I had on this person. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing to do, because I mean, that the same thing can happen to you. All of a sudden, let's say the internet doesn't like you right now. Do you want all of your friends and people that you thought were your friends to basically showcase every single bad or negative experience that they've had with you? I'm not saying Sinder's a good person. I'm not saying all of these people are doing it out of bad faith, but I'm worried that some people are doing this to jump on a bandwagon. I'm not saying that Sinder is good. I'm not defending Sinder. I think, I mean, from everything that I've read and everything I've seen, Sinder seems not good. They seem a little manipulative. They seem like they are in a state of paranoia where they think everyone is out to get them, and that's never a good headspace to see or say. And it seems like that's a very hard place to crawl out of once you're in that mindset of, it's basically everyone's kind, it's like it's all yourself or nothing kind of mentality, where it's only you out there and everyone else, they're either there to hurt you or there for like to further yourself, is the type of vibes that I get. And that's completely my opinion, and my opinion may end up being subject to change, but that's currently how I feel. As from everything that I've read, I will continue to look at the subject, and if there's any updates, you'll get them either next week, the week after, or whenever the fuck I do my next bunny babble. If I even remember. My own opinions have changed because it might have been so long that this has gone under the water. I mean, granted, 2 weeks, everyone's gonna forget about this, so it is what it is. And that's it. That's it. No, that was the things. So we're gonna jingle and go into the last part, the last thing. Jingle. It's time for the questions. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions about the stuff that I talked about. Please leave that algorithmic comment down below for when you hear these questions. And I love reading those essay long comments down below. I read all of those comments. I love seeing them. I love reading Bunny Babble comments. So go through all these questions, give me your take, give me your opinion, and I love reading them out. I love the really long comments, even the short ones. I love reading them too. But it brings me joy to see people care enough to actually watch the entire video and give their own takes and have their own questions. And those essay long comments, I promise I read them. I love them. They're very cool, very sweet. So, what's your opinion on the whole Sinder take? I feel like I didn't really go into it too much depth, just because I don't really like drama. I don't want to spread drama. I will be talking about this because this is literally, the VTuber community is kind of in storm. So if you're a fan of drama and you like consuming drama, I would suggest reading them and tell me, what do you think of Sinder? What do you think? What is your take? I just want to hear your take on this. Now, next question. Discord. Do you use Discord? If you use Discord, are you worried about having a new CEO? Have you liked the direction that Discord has been going in? Do you like Discord nowadays? Or Discord of past times? Do you prefer the old Discord? Or do you like this newer Discord that seems to keep adding new things, such as discoverable servers, little cat ears that you can put on your profile decorations, a whole little shop now that they have in Discord, starting those microtransactions. So I'd love to hear your take on that one. Now, big one, huge question. How do you feel about Gura graduating? And do you think that Gura is going to be moving over to Zenzawa? Or do you think that she's just going to completely stop VTubing, stop content creation? Or maybe do you think she's going to go under a new character, new name, and completely start fresh? I'd love to know. I'd love to hear your take. Now, up next, did you know that Katy Perry went into space? Did you know that? I didn't until I saw it. Up next, are you excited for how 3D tracking is going? Do you think what do you think is going to happen with 3D tracking? Do you think it's going to get even more insane? I want to know what you think about insane 3D tracking. Do you think it's bad that it's improving to the point that it's improving? Or do you think it's a good thing? Is it something scary, or is it something that's exciting? And are you a fan of gambling? Do you like slots? Are you excited for this new roguelike game? Or are you just someone that doesn't really game much, or you just don't care? You just don't care. It is what it is. You won't be playing it, but you'll see, maybe you'll watch someone else play it. Maybe you don't like games at all. Maybe you won't play it. Now, in regards to the direwolf being unextinctified, do you think this is fake, or do you think this is real? And do you think other animals will be able to be unextinctified? What animal, if you could make no longer extinct, would you make unextinct? Like, what animal from olden times that no longer exists do you want to see brought back? I'm very curious. How do you feel about the Switch? Are you going to be buying a Switch 2? That's my question. That's a very simple one. What is your opinion on corpo agencies versus indie agencies? Would you rather watch an indie VTuber, or would you rather watch a corpo VTuber? Or do you just not even know? Do you not care? Do you not care at all? How do you feel about corporations such as McDonald's, maybe some KFC action, using creators' creations as a way to promote? Such as the McDonald's using the Mame Hinata model to show off a cute advertisement of eating some French fries from McDonald's. Do you like it? Is it cool or is it bad? Is it bad and you don't like that? And will you be playing the Palworld visual novel game? Will you be getting your freak on with some Palmons? Did you even play Palmon or Palworld when it came out? Do you have any interest at all? Will your first experience be with the More Than Just Pals visual novels? And jingle jingle, that's the end of the questions of stuff that I talked about. Jingle jingle, jingle jingle. Now it's time for our weekly or monthly or bi-weekly or whenever the fuck I do them, BBQ, Bunny Babble Question. What do you think my song will be called? My last two songs were called Morning Brew, which is supposed to be a pun on morning brew as in like in the morning you get coffee, but because I'm an alchemist, it's like a brew, it's like a potion brew, it's like a witch's brew. So instead of it being a brew of coffee, it's a brew of potion. So morning brew is supposed to be a pun on the fact that I'm an alchemist, and also it's like a morning cup of coffee. And my other one was Bunny Hop. It's a pun because it's a bunny and I'm hopping, and that was the catch of the song. I will say that this new song, the main topic of it is essentially my journey of working through my emotions, and if I hold work a little more, if I hold work too, I have a trouble having a balance between my work life and my personal life. So that's what the song is about. And I'm curious as to what you guys think potential song names that I will be doing for my third song. Bonus points if you actually get it right. Or maybe I haven't made it at all. Maybe I'm going to pull a Scott Coffin. What if I pull a FNAF where you tell me the right answer and then I'm like, yeah, that's good. I'll take that one. I'll use that one. Give me that theory. I'll lock in that theory. But thank you. And I appreciate you watching all the way through. This one wasn't super long, but I would like to say it was dense, compact, and had a lot of information. Thank you so much for coming to the Bunny Babble, and this bunny boy bellows a bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.